Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brothers Take podcast. My name is Kris. I'm joined once again by my brother Eric,
Hello.
and we are back in the room this week to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2, which had its big showcase and big direct on April 2nd, 2025, which was last week at time of record. Well, actually, it was only yesterday at time of recording,
Mm.
but by time this is out, it will have been last week. So yes, we are two nerdy brothers who like to get together each and every week to talk about nerdy things. And in this week's episode, we are going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, our thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 2, whether it's a day one purchase for us, our thoughts on the games that were showcased, all of those things. And of course, we want to hear from you too. So if you guys are watching this on YouTube, make sure you jump down into the comments to share your thoughts on the Switch 2, the price, the features it has, the games that are coming, all that stuff. Make sure to let us know all your thoughts. If you enjoyed this episode, please do give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell for all future content. To those who listen to us on audio platforms, you can also touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at The Brothers Take, again, to give your take on the Nintendo Switch 2. But without further ado, let's go! Alright, Eric. I suppose I just want to start with, without getting into any of the specifics, your overall thoughts on the Switch 2 Direct, which is the biggest showcase they've had since the Switch 1, I would say.
Yeah, this I thought as a showcase, it was a banger of a showcase because it wasn't like one of those things where it was. I mean, some of the features they have are pretty cool features
Mm-hmm.
for sure. And we'll obviously get into those features, but then even a lot of it then was on the games coming for it. And it wasn't like, here's a bunch of games coming out at some point. A lot of the games were actually coming out this year or were
Mm-hmm.
coming out the minute it's launched, coming with it. And then there was like a lot, they were confirming, yes, there's backward compatibility. So, even if whatever there was. And then I think like the latest was games coming out in like 2026. So
Mm-hmm.
even at that, if there was a game you were interested in, it wasn't like you still had a yearly date, which I thought was very good. And yeah, I thought the features were very good. This is a very cool console. I thought it was a good showcase to kind of get you hyped for it.
I was very disappointed by this showcase.
You bastard.
Personally, I was left a little. I gotta be honest. I was very hyped for it for a
Okay.
couple of reasons. Obviously, look, the Switch 2 is a big deal.
Yeah.
Getting the next Nintendo console and the next phase of Nintendo and all this. And there is like, don't get me like you said, there's some cool shit here. There's a lot of games that are coming this year. So if you're buying the Switch 2 this year, there's gonna be a lot of content and stuff.
Mm.
However, I felt personally, and everyone's gonna have a different reaction and all that. I thought I got a lot of bad news at this at this showcase. Actually, I was like, oh, we're not getting that game. Then it's locked behind this thing that's exclusive to this console, but also pay an extra thing to be able to play it. I'm like, so what? We're never getting that? Is that what you're saying? That's bad messaging to me. I found the like when we found out what the mystery C button does, I was like, to me, this seems like it's too late to bring in this feature. Like it's almost like it's like well, you should have been doing this ages ago. This is not the next big exciting thing. Like all the other consoles have been doing this for quite a while actually, and during COVID would have been the perfect time for this thing. You're only
Mm.
bringing it in now, and that's the exciting new thing, the mystery C button that everyone's talking about. So I was a little underwhelmed by that. To not share the prices during the showcase
Mm.
seemed a little disingenuous to me. Like they also didn't want to talk about it. Like maybe they were a bit embarrassed by it, or they knew it wasn't going to be a good reaction. And then to find out the prices afterwards by just looking it up and being like, "Oh, what the fuck?" Like not just of the console, but also of the games that are going up in price. To have like oh, you can play Switch 2 versions of the games and you pay for an upgrade. That's not new to us. That's you get
No, no,
that with
that's
like
yeah.
the PS4 to PS5 and stuff like that. But to also not share how much again is kind of like, why aren't you telling us what these things are going to cost? Why is this a secret almost? Or like you don't want us to find out until we go and pay for it. And look at we're in a shitty time. Everything is getting more expensive anyway. But yeah, it just for me it put a dampener on the whole thing. So don't get me wrong, there's some cool shit I saw in here, and there's some stuff where I was like, oh, if I had the Switch 2, that's automatic. I'd be getting that and I'd be playing that or whatever. Um, but did it make me want to buy the Switch 2 day one? So
Oh,
Eric,
Chris, it's
did
okay,
you?
Chris. If you want to be a Debbie Downer on this very happy stoic day, that's fine. Like, you know
No,
what I
look at
mean?
I yeah.
That's if you want to be that guy.
Let how about this then? You can be the positives, I can be the negatives, and then the comments
Okay,
can pick a
balance
side or
it out.
whatever
Right?
afterwards.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. And I don't want to be. I was really excited for this. Like I was like I was in work when it was on. Someone came up to me and said, "Oh, did you see it?" And I was like, "Don't tell me anything. I don't want to know." Right?
Okay.
And they said to me, "Okay, all I can tell you is you're gonna buy it day one." That's what they told me. Right? And I was like, oh man, you
Oh,
are
no, okay,
hyping
okay.
me
All
up, right?
right. All
Now,
right.
I wasn't hyped based on just what he said. I was already
Right. But
hyped.
it
That
was,
just helped
yeah, it was
further it.
adding it. Yeah, yeah,
So then when I watched it, that was the question. Would I buy it day one? Personally, no. I would not buy this console day one. Would you,
yeah.
Eric?
No.
Okay. Well, there we go.
But
And that's
that's,
the
but
end of the
that's,
episode, no, John.
that's, yeah, yeah, that's like, my guys, no, no, no. It's not like I'm not buying this day one because I didn't like anything it had to show.
Hmm.
It's just a case of I can wait, like I did the Switch.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like I just, it's not quite like yes, I will probably buy the PS6 the year it comes out, right?
Hmm.
Um, because that's my main console. So that's why I'd be buying it because it's my main console. I suppose if Nintendo consoles were my main products, then
Hmm.
yes, I'd be buying this when it comes out. But it's not. It's a secondary console. I still have my own Switch at the moment. The Switch One. I still have games I have to clear on that, so that's fine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe at some point, like down the road, I might get the Switch 2. At least that
Yes.
way, then there's a bunch of games that are there that then I can get, and that's fine. I didn't really take note of the whole no prices thing. The only thing that did make me go, okay, that's weird, was the tour. Remember that they advertised the tour thing where you get to go around, and
This
it
is
was
another thing, right?
and it was like paid
You could pay
downloadable.
to
I was like,
download it. And
that.
I was like,
I was like,
nobody is going to do that. Nobody
no,
is going to pay to download a manual to the fucking Switch 2, basically. That should be built in. That should be
yeah,
like
I
Astro
felt
Bot.
like that. That's exactly what I was going to say. I felt like that should have been the Astrobot of it.
Mm.
Was now it wouldn't be as fucking good as Astrobot, but I thought, yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
should have been something that was just there. You go, you can download it. So when they said that was paid, I was like, that's silly. I
Yeah.
actually liked the group chat thing. I get what you're saying in that the other consoles have been doing this, so why was this not done already? But I still like the idea that it's. I mean, it's actually pretty obvious. C for chat.
Yeah.
The idea of it being anything else is a bit like oh, it's not gonna be C for it drives your fucking car or some shit. Like you know what I mean?
I
Like
don't think
it's
anyone taught that.
no, but you know what I mean. I thought it was fine, and I thought the talking thing, and I wouldn't get the camera
Hmm.
for me personally.
No.
Because even right now, I don't like looking at myself, so I'm looking at you, and I'm trying to avoid me on the screen.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. I'll look at everything else in my room. So I wouldn't really get that, but I still like this, the
Yeah.
function, because it adds again more of that sort of communal bond that Switch is all about,
Yes.
or the
I
Nintendo's all about.
I'm not against the feature. I think it makes sense, as you said, especially as for like Nintendo party games. I think it
Mm,
absolutely should be included. I thought it was strange that it's kind of the new big feature.
right.
That and the mouse thing. The mouse thing is actually
The
more
mouse thing's
innovative to
pretty
me.
cool. Yeah, the mouse thing is pretty cool. I was also blown away by the They very quickly were like, here's the Joy-Con 2s. This is how it attaches, right? Because everyone have been like, that shit's gonna snap and break.
Yeah,
Or
and
is
I
that
think they've figured that out actually.
I think they probably always knew this and
Yeah.
are just answering people by going, yeah, no, it connects magnetically.
Yes.
And I was just blown away by that. I was like, that's some fucking science shit right there. My God, they're magnets. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was pretty blown by the magnets thing. I thought that was awesome.
And obviously the bigger screen, bigger display is better.
Right,
The
yeah,
4K resolution, 120 FPS, all of that is incredibly positive. That's what we want to see. And then the
yes.
showcase of games that they showed highlighted that it's going to be able to run better games better.
Mm.
So like I
And they
think
have
this
like
is
a fan built into it as well.
yeah,
That'll
I
keep
think
it
this
cool
is
down.
very exciting for people who the Switch is their main console and
Mm.
they have fallen behind on some of the big games. They're finally going to have a system that can run the big games.
Right.
Is it exciting as the secondary console? I think you're right. Maybe not yet. Down the line, possibly. Like I'm not against ever getting a Switch 2. That's not what I'm saying. And it could be something that I would get later.
Mm.
But has it made me get so excited like, oh, I got to get that this year, you know? No, it didn't. And that's a little unfortunate for me because I was quite excited to the lead up of it. And even like I was like I love the Switch 1 having gotten it late, very late. And I was like, the only thing holding this back is if it could just, play better games, you know what I mean? And it's like, and here comes the Switch 2, but there was too many negatives to me throughout this show.
Okay.
And to find out after, like the price of games going up, digital games being priced at 80. Like the Mario Kart World game is $80 and I think €80 digitally. That's a lot of money.
That's a fuck ton of money.
Um, so yeah, and so okay, so I'm gonna get into the maybe people haven't looked it up. I'm sure people have been. I think you could start your pre-orders from April 9th. So I'm sure
Mm.
people will be getting their purchases and stuff in order. I have to address so at the start of the year for people who don't know, myself and Eric made predictions for what will happen this year in the gaming world and entertainment.
So far, we're getting
And
them all wrong.
so far, it's not going well for us. But we did
No.
say whoever gets the most predictions right at the end of the year will be crowned the winner, and the loser will have to get them a prize. I predicted that the Nintendo Switch 2 will be priced at $399.99. It is not. It is more expensive than that.
It is 450.
It is 459. Or no, you're right. 450. It is 449, isn't it?
I don't know. I didn't see the price. I was just guessing.
Yeah. Well, you're bang on. Well, that's it in dollars. I think in euro it's more.
All right.
If I was to look up now, yeah, I did see an article said that it was $449.99. But if I was to try and pre-order it now from like one of the only places we can get it now is called Smith's store in Ireland here. So if I look up now, Nintendo Switch 2, boop, boop, boom, it is €469.99 for just the standard version, or $509.99 for it with Mario Kart World.
Yeah, again, so it's one of those things where for us personally, because it's not our main console, we're pretty okay to wait. I have a feeling a lot of people are just going to start waiting for those deals for games. If games are going to be going up to that price digitally, I think a
Yeah,
lot of people are just going to go, right, I'll just wait for the deals.
yeah, but then that's bad, right? Like that's
That
unfortunate.
is bad, but like just stop pricing them at that.
Well, it's like is that down to just there's a lot of things going on in the world that I think are
There is a lot
affecting.
of things happening in the world that's affecting it, but that is like, isn't that in Ireland? That's a day's wage.
It depends on the job, but yes, probably for most
Like,
people.
but at minimum wage, isn't it? Like the minimum wage is around that amount. Like you'd nearly be, giving away all your money you just made that day
Yeah.
for that one game. And
Yes.
sure, that game is going to last you longer than that one day.
Yes.
Sure,
Yeah.
but not everyone can do that.
No,
You
and
know
you've
what I
got a
mean?
lot of other things to be paying for, and
Yeah.
and I always saw Nintendo as the family console, and I think these increased prices are a bit of a kind of a bit of a gateway actually. I don't see it as a good thing personally, and I think that's where I was a little bit underwhelmed by the whole thing. It wasn't a this is just amazing, and like at the moment the best deal in gaming, honestly, and I know it's become a meme at this point, really, but Game Pass on the Xbox is the best consumer deal out there.
Fuck me.
But am I wrong? Like
No, you're not.
the fact that the big first party games are coming to it day one, included in the price, not pay extra, is you can't beat that. Like that's like if someone was like, I really don't know which console to get, and I don't have a lot of money for like investing in gaming, I think I would be like, get yourself an Xbox and then pay Game Pass,
Mm.
and you will have lots of games to play and lots of high quality, really good games. Um, but yeah, I suppose let's get into then. Well, first of all, was there any of the other features from the console itself before we get into the games um, that stood out to you that we haven't talked about yet, or that you wanted to talk about? Or
I think the one that really kind of just I was like wowed by was the fact that the Joy-Cons can become a mouse, which I think was like there are games that are RTS games on consoles. I think we always said that, like not necessarily on podcasts, but like growing up and everyone would have said that they just don't work as well on console
mm-hmm.
when you're doing an RTS game. So the fact that they were like, "Hey, we'll turn them into a mouse," it's like a pretty cool, innovative thing. So I still think that the Switch 2 is quite innovative, quite cool. I think the chat feature is good, but obviously when you are streaming, the fact that you can each stream where what you are doing in the game,
Mm.
at least they were a bit honest that yeah, it's going to look janky when you're looking at the
Yeah,
other players'
there.
screens.
I was like, man. Usually in a showcase, you try to show something to look a little bit better than it's really even going to look, and I was like,
Yeah,
wow, that looks terrible. For
yeah.
like the next generation console, the kind of the lag of it and all. But look, I know that's more for just chats and for the crack. It's not really the actual gaming experience.
No, no, no. And again, I was like, at least they're being honest that that is going to look shit. Like, but
Yeah, now maybe
but
it
the
was just the
noise
stream,
canceling,
but I don't know.
the noise canceling for the microphone was pretty cool.
That sounds nuts, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's like, well, first of all, what are you fucking blending for while I'm playing here? But also, it's like, can it really cancel out the sound of a blender in the background?
That's what they say.
We will have to wait and see. That sounds a bit. I think
That's the only reason to get the console. Just fucking have
we're just
someone
doing it as a tech
hoovering
demo.
another person. Yeah,
Yeah,
blending.
yeah. Not to play anything, just to test the voice chat.
Yeah, what sounds can it? Can it really cancel out all sounds?
That's what we're gonna know. I
Yeah.
like the look of it. I think it looks
Mm,
great. Obviously, the bigger screen and the higher definitions and all that stuff is all huge positives.
hmm
To be able to play games that look better. But I would say some of the games they show, like for example, like they showed Hogwarts Legacy, right?
Yeah.
Now, for like a Switch 2 edition, it did look better than, and obviously it's still hard to know on a stream whether, maybe when it's in your hands, you'll be like, oh no, that looks fucking amazing.
Mm.
But the footage that I saw, and I can only go off that, it looked better than the Switch 1 version because that one does run like absolute ass. The Switch cannot run Hogwarts Legacy. It's too
Right.
broken,
Yeah.
right?
I don't know why they
So
even tried to
it's,
put that on,
I know,
but
so it's an improvement on that for sure.
yeah.
But it does not look as good as the other console versions to me.
Really?
I didn't think it looked as good. So I was still like, is it quite getting there though to the point of like where you really want the games to be at, or is it still going to be a little bit? I don't know. I don't know. I felt the same way when they showed Elden Ring. I was like, Elden Ring looks better than that.
Does it?
Yeah, yeah, it does. No, there's no doubt about it. Elden Ring looks absolutely gorgeous.
Does it?
Yes. In all seriousness, yes, it does. You don't think so? You don't think
Elden
Elden
Ring?
Ring looks really good? I'm not saying quality as in gameplay. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about graphics.
I don't know. See, I'd say if you said the gameplay looks class, I'd be like, yeah. the graphics are meh for
Oh
like
no, come
every
on.
no for every From Software game. The graphics are pretty are they're fine. They're serviceable. But
This
like
this
if
is
you
where
look
this is
at
where the audience will get mad.
this, yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is where the
You
audience will
know
get
what? I
mad.
don't give a shit because was a Blue Point that made Demon Souls remake?
Yeah, that was incredible.
That looks better than all the games that From Software have made.
I agree with that. I'm not
Yeah, yeah,
disagreeing
yeah.
with that. I mean,
So
if the games on the Switch 2 look like that,
yeah, that'd be incredible.
you know,
Well,
I'd
it's
be like,
like
holy shit, wow.
apparently it's able to run Cyberpunk 2077. Now I don't believe that. I think that's going to run like shit on
Really?
Switch 2.
No,
Yeah.
I fully expect it'll be able to run it. If it can't, then why are we doing this? Like,
Well, because this is what we do. We do podcasts, Chris.
no, not us. Why are we doing this? Why would Nintendo be releasing a console if it's not going to be able to run these games?
I don't know. No, I think it'd be able
Of
to
course it
run.
will.
I think it'll be able to run Elden Ring.
It will be able to run Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know, PlayStation and Xbox weren't able to run Cyberpunk at launch.
Yeah, so it'll be able to run that version on Switch.
It'll be,
Yeah,
it'll be like the when Cyberpunk first launched.
yeah.
All right, let's get into the games and stuff, right? So maybe there was kind of two portions to this, and it did go a little bit back and forth, but there was two portions. There was the Nintendo first party stuff,
Yeah,
and then there was the third party stuff.
yeah.
Is there any one of those you want to start with?
I think we just might as well start with the third person, considering we were talking third person, right? If
Third
it
party,
runs,
third party, third person. There are a lot of them were third person games.
sorry, yes, third
Third
party.
party. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I just say I made an April Fool's gag
You did.
the day before. I always like to try and do one, and I was like, okay, one that could make sense this year, the day since it is the day before the Switch 2 Direct, is to say that it leaked, and this is what's going to be on it.
Right, yeah, yeah.
So I made a fake. But what's funny is, so let me see. Blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna go back through some of them. I said the show will be 46 minutes long. I actually thought it was going to be half an hour, but it was an hour.
Yeah, yeah.
I said the mystery C button is revealed as the cursor mode, and when you push that, it turns it into the mouse. That's not what it does, but
But there's a mouse feature anyway, so
well,
you're
we
kind of
knew
half right.
we knew there was a mouse feature.
Right, yeah, yeah.
I don't know what makes it do the mouse thing. There must be a button for it. I said the first 18 minutes will be focused on showcasing hardware. I don't know how long it was, but there was kind of a chunk of it.
Yeah.
So, and then the rest of the direct will be focused on games coming to the Switch 2.
It's just exactly what happened.
Right. So then I said as well, I said Switch 2 will feature a built-in mini Mario platformer showcasing the console's functions, like Astro's Playroom. Now, it's not a Mario one, but there is a game built in. Well, it's not built in. That's the problem. You got
you have
to
to
pay.
pay.
It should be built in.
Should be built in.
It should be the first thing you play when you turn it on, and it shows you all the
Yes.
cool things that the Switch 2 can do. But anyway, then I said, but we will come back to this in the Switch, in the Nintendo games part of it. I said the next Mario Kart will be a launch title, which it is. Like, I was joking about all this.
Yeah.
Is officially called Mario Kart Open Road. It's not. It's called Mario Kart World. And it will feature a more open approach to the tracks, like Forza Horizon. Which it does.
So April, yeah, okay, sorry, keep going.
Then I said, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker and Twilight Princess are being remastered for Switch 2 and will release later in the year. We'll come back to that. Not happy about this. And then I said Nintendo Switch 1 games can be played on Switch 2 after paying $10, €10, or £10 for a digital upgrade. Will run faster and with improved graphics. So that, I don't know the price, but that's true. Yeah, okay. Then I said Final Fantasy IX Remake will be announced. This did not happen.
No.
Releasing in 2026 as a one-year timed exclusive for Nintendo Switch 2. This was designed to piss people off. That was the point of this as an April Fool's gag. That was supposed to be the bit that goes, what? As an exclusive? Fuck you, I'm mad, blah, PlayStation fans. This obviously did not happen. I still think it exists. We recently got Final Fantasy IX art updated, and they said for the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy IX. And I was like, come on. Something's going to happen this year.
Yeah.
But then underneath that, I wrote, Other third-party games coming to the Switch 2 include, and some of these was to make people be like, no fucking way. I said Split Fiction, which it is. I said Elden Ring,
Which it
which it
is.
is. I said Tekken 8, which is not
No.
yet. I said Clair Obscure Expedition 33, which is not yet.
Yes.
And I said Final Fantasy 7 Remake,
Which it is.
which is. And then I did a whole thing on Xbox games coming to the Switch too. That did not happen. I'm surprised
No,
at
no, no.
that. I think it still will. And then, as the joke for the price, I said 450.99.
And it is.
So I wasn't far off that as the joke versus my actual prediction. And then I said the release date would be July 11th, 2025, giving it a summer release. That's incorrect, but it is coming out June 5th.
Hmm.
I do think this summer release is a good idea
Yes.
because they'll have three opportunities of big purchases. There'll be the first wave of people who absolutely have to have it right away
Mm-hmm.
in the summer. Then there'll be the people trying to get it on the Black Friday sales in November.
Mm-hmm.
And then there'll be the people also just trying to get it for Christmas.
Yes.
So it's a good idea. But yeah, so some of those April Fool's gags weren't far off actually. But yeah, so some of the third party games then, we've mentioned Elden Ring. Split Fiction, I think that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the kind of game you want on the Switch, I think.
Yes. Split Fiction. For sure. I was very impressed. The fact that when it was saying Cyberpunk 2077,
Mm-hmm.
Split Fiction, Final 7 remake, Intergrade, Elden Ring, all the like these big games coming to the Switch too, I was very impressed. So maybe that's what softened me up a bit as well. Maybe
Yeah,
like,
yeah, sure.
this is pretty cool if it can run these games.
Yeah.
So I mean that's pretty good for sure.
The most exciting third party thing for me was Final Fantasy 7 Remake Intergrade.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like that's to be I
Well,
was immediately thinking, imagine playing that on a plane.
that, right?
Yeah.
What got me getting to the edge of my seat here, I was like, shut the front fucking door. Are they gonna reveal it? Are they gonna say it now? When they had the IO Interactive and they were like, here's Hitman. Also,
Yes.
here's another project, and they started playing the James Bond theme tune. And I was like, are you going to reveal it now? Shut the front door. And then it didn't. I was like, oh, you teasers. Oh, you big teases.
We're getting there though. So
We're
one of
getting
my
there.
other predictions for this year, if you remember, was IO Interactive will announce the title and release year for Project 007. To see them readdress it at least has me going, oh, thank heavens. I think we will get this before the end of the year.
Yeah, probably.
But the name and the release year, I think we'll get it at a Jeff Keighley show.
That'd be nice. That'd be real nice.
That's where it makes sense. But yeah, it was nice to kind of even hear the music to it and be like, ah, fuck yeah.
And then the way the trailer was done, like the sniper bullet going in, and then it's curving through the barrel, and then you see the iconicness of the barrel and the white. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's good. That's nice.
I was surprised actually that the next first big mention of this that we ever got. I mean, the first mention was like a Twitter post or something like that years ago.
Right, yeah.
Well, just announcing that they were working on it. But the first then time they readdress it is at a Nintendo showcase was pretty big.
Yeah, it's
in
pretty
that
good.
sense, don't get me wrong. I think the third party support for this show was huge. A lot of people showed up at it, and a lot of people were like, "We're bringing our games to the Switch. We're bringing our games to the Switch." And it was like, oh, again, if the Switch is your primary console, you're gonna
It's
eat
pretty
good.
class. Yeah,
There's a lot of good stuff coming.
for sure.
And yeah, for me, the most exciting one was Remake Intergrade. If you could play Final Fantasy 7 on the go, fuck yeah. Like if I
But
got,
you can already do that, Chris. Like, you know what I mean?
I
Don't
can't.
you have it on your phone?
Not the original or not the remake though. Not that game specifically.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, but
You know what I mean? Like that would be fucking awesome to be playing on the go. But again, I can wait for it because I have the game and I've played the
yes.
game.
Yeah.
But I also think this is an indication that Rebirth will come to the Switch 2 later.
Probably. Yeah. So
think
we just need to convince our Switch friends to then pick up Final Fantasy 7 Remake and Rebirth and fucking Bob's your uncle like.
So poor Xbox is still being left behind on the Final Fantasy 7 remake trilogy, huh?
They sure are.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. You will get it eventually. You will. After Part 3 is out.
Will they?
Yeah, I think after Part 3 is out, and All the PlayStation sales have happened for that. Then the PC sales have happened for it. It'll go there first. Then the Nintendo sales have happened. Once they've really sold it to everyone else, then they'll go, okay, now we can start releasing them on the Xbox to sell them
Yeah.
again. That's what I
Ugh,
think will happen.
God. Everything's to be spoiled on
There will
them.
be like a trilogy package eventually down the
Oh, for
line,
sure. Yeah, yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and
Mm.
that will come out on everything, including Xbox. And that
Yeah,
might be
no,
when they
it'll have
eventually
everything
get
as
it.
well. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And all, yeah, all the DLCs, everything. It'll be
yeah, yeah.
like, but obviously it'll be years and years down the line.
Deadline. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Um. Okay, cool. Any other of the third party? Is this a third party one? This one surprised me. It was in a sizzle reel. You know, they had a quick sizzle reel of lots of the games. It was a quick show of lots of games coming.
Right.
And again, one of my predictions for this year was that Hollow Knight Silk Song will release this year. And they showed it for a brief second and said 2025. And I was like, okay, until it comes out, it hasn't come true yet because it could get delayed.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm feeling pretty confident about that this one will happen.
Probably. Yeah.
But I was surprised that they just showed it. I was like, that's a for the Nintendo community. That one's huge. That's a
Hmm.
huge deal for the gaming community. Some people, Hollow Knight Silk Song would be their one last thing. I'm
Right.
surprised it was just like a couple of seconds. I was like, so people would want to see a trailer for that. Like,
Yeah, but they'll
what's
get it
going
because
on?
there's another showcase on like the 17th of April, isn't there?
That's just for Mario Kart World, I think. That's a Mario Kart World Direct. That's
Oh,
kind of like, you know, when State of Play do like a, oh, this is specific, like a Final Fantasy VII State of Play. So I don't think.
fine. I mean, I'm not 100% sure what more you can show for that. They kind of showed it off. Like, they did a pretty good showcase for Mario Kart World, I thought.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It
I
would
don't
be,
know how much more they could show. It's like, it's Mario Kart and Forza slapped together. And away you go. It's like, all right, what more can you show? But anyway,
there
fair
must be
enough.
more to see.
There must be.
Yeah, I suppose the big one then for most people for the third party stuff was and it is a huge deal for the Nintendo community, the new From Software exclusive game to Nintendo Switch 2.
This,
That's going to make some people go, I need to buy that.
this, I think, because I know Adam messaged us saying, "Oh, they're a big tease," and I assume it was to do with another game.
Yes, of course.
I think this was a bigger tease.
Tease? What do you mean?
This, for sure. This
Yeah.
guy is lying in his chair. This woman reaches her hand up. I will give you thy blood. And I was thinking, imagine Bloodborne 2 or something. And then it said From Software, and I was like, shut the front door. Is this Bloodborne 2? Right? And then the guy was standing there in this like
Yeah.
London Victorian city, and I was like,
Yes.
this is Bloodborne 2. And then it kept going, and I was like, it's very weird looking, but it could be Bloodborne 2. It looks like they're showing a lot of the assets that they learned from their other games. And it kept going, and it showed these weird monsters that looked like they could have been Bloodborne 2. And then
Yeah.
by the end of it, it was like a Pickle Blooders or something. I can't remember the fucking name of the game.
Was it Dusk Blood or something like
There
that?
we go,
Bloods?
Dusk Blood. And I was like,
Yeah.
you teasing bastards. Like,
I don't see it as a tease. I see it as a because I think it's by the guy who did do Bloodborne.
obviously.
Yeah, I see it as a spiritual successor. They're like, PlayStation have Bloodborne. Unfortunately, they own the rights to it, and I think From Software have learned their lesson to not give the rights fully to anyone anymore.
Right, yeah, probably, yeah.
And the gamers are annoyed that nothing's happening with Bloodborne.
Yes.
And From Software, I think, are also annoyed that they can't do anything with Bloodborne because PlayStation is not letting them, or I don't know what the fuck is going on. So I think they just did a whole Thanos on it and said, I'll do it myself. And go somewhere else to do They can't call it Bloodborne 2. They're not allowed to.
Right, yeah.
But they just I think basically what they've done is gone, well, if I was making a Bloodborne sequel, this is what it would be. So I saw it as the spiritual successor to Bloodborne. It looks like Elden Ring Night Rain mixed and Bloodborne had a baby, basically.
yes, that is what it looks like, yeah.
You know?
But I thought that was a... Because obviously I know what you're saying, spiritual successor, but people would love...
Oh,
of
like the
I
name
still love
alone.
Bloodborne
If
2.
if you ever saw Bloodborne 2, the fucking whole internet would collapse
Yes, for
and
sure.
implode in on itself, and that would be more. Even though like people like Metacritic wise and all this, Elden Ring is rated a better game. I think a Bloodborne 2 would get a much higher reaction than an Elden Ring 2.
Yeah, probably.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just as well as because it has now that level of anticipation of something happening. Like I'm so shocked given how it's literally a cash grab waiting to happen. There must be something else wrong or so I don't know. But like they haven't even done a PC remaster yet for that one, even though
Nope.
they've PC remastered every edition of Last of Us that they possibly can. Um,
Yeah, and it doesn't work. Didn't work first time it released on PC.
no, but like the PC community would absolutely buy up Bloodborne PC remastered.
Yes, for
I'm really
sure.
shocked that they haven't done anything with that. But did this game then in any way excite you? I'm sure it's going to be one of the big ones for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be the big one. Like I can wait. Like any from software game, I can wait. So there's no like I have no doubt that they're very well made games. They're very addictive games for sure.
Hmm.
Because you can have that moment where like, oh, I just got that boss, and oh, I died, and oh, I know what to do now, and then you go back in,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like they're very addictive puzzle solving games. But like the difficulty is like they just smoked a bunch of heroin. That's the difficulty of those games, but. I can wait. I can wait with pretty much all the From Software games, but I can see that this will be a big deal to a lot of people,
Hmm.
especially those who are itching for another Bloodborne, and this is like a spiritual successor to Bloodborne, so
Yeah, yeah.
people for that reason might just buy the Switch 2 just to get it. Like,
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one of the big ones, I think, that sells on the Switch too.
and the fact
And
as well
knowing
that
that
they're
it's
having
exclusive
it's exclusive, and there's also going to be Elden Ring.
as well. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's a huge, like, From Software fan base being
Yes.
catered to by the Switch too.
And both of those games can have multiplayer. So that with the group chat and then the fact you can share your screens as well so you can see where everyone is,
Yes.
I think that could be I think that yeah, very good for the From Software fans.
Yeah, and that's a really good point that it seems like the Switch 2 will have a big focus on like a lot of these games like so the fact that the From Software one is a multiplayer game, the fact that Split Fiction is going to be one of the games, the fact
Mm.
that Mario Kart World, like a lot of them will actually be like we want people to use the game chat function. We want multiple people playing the same game together. I think as well game share was a cool feature that they showed where for certain games if one person has it, other people can play it, kind of like
Yeah, that's pretty
the
cool.
Game Pass thing that Hazelight
And
do, which is really cool.
yes. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, that was a very cool feature as well. Yeah. I like again, I think that kind of community feature is the next step for Nintendo. I know the other consoles have done it. But Nintendo just has that familial bond, that friendship bond of playing together, like having what's that? What's that? Hey Valley.
Stardew Valley.
Thank you very much. Stardew Valley, isn't that's on the Switch, isn't it?
I'm not sure. I think so. I don't know.
But
Animal
anyway,
Crossings was the big one, right?
there we go. Sorry, it's Animal Crossing. I'm thinking of Animal
Yeah.
Crossing, and that again, you would have been playing with other players. Now you got the group chat features. Now you can all chat, and then if you're really like looking at yourself, now you can have this camera, and so I can look at you, so you can all see each other. So again, very good feature if that came out in COVID. That would have
Yeah,
been
very much
fucking
so. And
phenomenal.
also, it's going to be really good for streamers
Yes, as
that
well.
they can have themselves in the corner while the gameplay is happening behind them. They can record that then and put it up. And there's going
Mm,
to be good social features, I think, with like the photo modes and stuff. Um,
mm.
yeah, I think as well there was a moment that I was reminded of the iToy back from the PS2 era, where people were like playing games where their faces would be in the game and stuff.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm sure, look, there will be good like family fun packages. That could be a good feature when you get whatever edition of Switch Sports comes out
Hmm.
eventually down the line, where people can have maybe their face on the character who's doing the golf or whatever, or like just a bit of fun really. But is everyone going to splash out and get the camera? Probably not. But the fact that you don't need it necessarily, you can still do like the voice chats and things like
Hmm.
that is good. Um, See, I think the only other like game in the third party sector that would really turn a lot of heads. Everyone's gonna have different favorites, so please do shout them out, guys. But Delta Rune being the spiritual successor to, actually no, it is based in the world of. It is part of, I think, Undertale. Um,
Okay.
so Undertale is huge, and the Switch community in particular love Undertale, and
Okay.
Deltarune is going to do well. So, I have nothing else to say on it. I haven't played Undertale. I work with a lot of people who play Switch, and let me tell you, Undertale came up a lot.
Fair
They
enough. Okay.
That was like one of their favorite games. That and Hollow Knight, which is why I was surprised Hollow Knight Silk Song was just a little blink and you miss it. I was kind of like, people are waiting years for this fucking thing. Like, like people are actually like, it is their most anticipated game for the last 4 years. So just, I was so shocked that they just skimmed past it. Maybe they just wanted to really tease. Maybe the Hollow Knight developers wanted to really tease people and like just
Yeah,
throw
and
it out
probably just
there. And
remind them that yeah, this is coming, but it probably will have its own.
will that be the one? Will that be the one last thing from the Summer Game Fest this year? Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest.
Might be.
Do you think that'll be the one last thing? Hollow Knight Silk Song.
I wouldn't GTA 6 be like the one last thing, considering that's supposed to be coming out this year.
Let's be real. Jeff is not getting GTA 6. GTA
But
6
why
is
not? Like,
because GTA 6 are going to do their own thing. They're going to have a the next trailer is on this day at this time. They're going to do their own. They're going to do like a mini showcase on their own. They're going to be like, we don't need no one else's showcase. You can't afford us. You can't afford us, Jeff.
yeah, but I hope that they don't do that.
I think I on the Hollow Knight thing, it probably won't be the one last thing. It could be a really good show opener
Yeah.
to make people be like, "Oh fuck," and then he'd be like, "Yeah, you don't know what's coming on this show," you know. I don't think he look. It'd be great if he did. I don't think he'll get GTA. No way.
But like, why not? Like, just there you go.
Because when he had the Game Awards, GTA 6 trailer was a couple of days before it. They could have just said, "Yeah, let's show it at the Game Awards," but they were like, "Nah, we're doing our own thing."
Okay, well, they better hurry up with a trailer because at this point it just feels like this is not coming out this year.
Yeah, and how much is that going to be?
A
That's going to be like
gajillion dollars, and people would pay.
it's
People
a lot of
will
people have been speculating that GTA 6 will be $100.
just like base game.
Yeah. What do you think? Well, you see, base game might come with their new version of GTA Online as well. So
It'll come with GTA 5.
this is another way to sell GTA 5. It's not GTA 6 at all.
It's just GTA 5.
You think it says GTA 6, but it actually
I've-
says it's GTA 5 1.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the original version on the PS3. It's the first GTA 5 first version.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I've heard that, and if they do that, yeah,
Do.
it'll be very annoying because people will pay it,
Yeah, of course they will.
and people will pay it, which will make other companies think, oh, we can price our games at 100 quid too, and it's like, no,
Depends on
no,
the game.
no, yeah, it's like,
Some
yeah,
games
but
can.
no, but some companies will think that
I
they
know,
can.
yeah.
Some
They-
companies will think,
I think they'll learn, though. They'll learn pretty fast.
I don't know.
It's not gonna work
The industry
for some
has
of
a
them.
tendency to just blame it on everyone else but themselves at the moment.
And the thing is, prices always go up. They don't
Yes, prices
tend
always
to go down.
go up. But anyway, we're not talking about those. We're talking
Well,
about the
just
Switch.
while we are on Switch, and just had to mention GTA before we go forward, do we think GTA 6 will be on Switch too?
No, but GTA 5 will be.
We don't think GTA 6 will be on Switch too?
Chris, we have to draw a line that there is a certain games it will not be able to run, right? It is very impressive
Why
that it
not?
can run something like Cyberpunk 2077 or Final 7 Remake. I mean, of course it can run Elden Ring. Like, there's not much to that.
What the fuck?
No, at this point now, I'm just trying to piss people off.
Will it not play a version that's not as good as the other consoles of GTA 6?
GTA
maybe?
6? Yeah, but you don't. This is the thing. I don't want them to do that.
Yeah, I suppose. I
Because I
think,
don't want them to have another Mortal Kombat 1 or another
yeah,
Arkham Knight
where it's like,
fiasco.
oh, it's that
It's like,
good,
yes, you can get it, but
but you
it's
shouldn't.
yeah. I don't want
Yeah.
them to go through that again. So if it can, that's
Um,
brilliant if it can run the GTA 6, but
yeah.
I
I
don't want to get.
think you're probably right. And actually, because they didn't show GTA 5 at this, I know it sounds silly, but because they didn't, to me, I think if we saw GTA 5 at it, yeah, as in there's a Switch 2 version of GTA 5
Mm,
coming in the third party thing, that would have been an indicator to me that's like, okay, we might get GTA 6 actually.
mm.
Because they're telling the GTA community to play GTA on Switch. Because we didn't, yeah, possibly not going to happen.
Now, and they probably Rockstar probably wouldn't really give it to Nintendo. Also, we do have to take, yeah, this I don't think they'd give it to them either.
I don't think they'd be against giving it to them. I just think it'd be a case of they don't want to compromise. So
Yeah,
if
probably.
they can't release the best version of their game everywhere, then they would draw the line at no, it's not happening.
And
We're
in
not we're
fairness, they
not putting
do
out a lesser version.
they do go far and beyond when making their games. Like
Mhm.
each new version is just mind blowing.
So then moving on to the actual Nintendo first party games,
Hmm.
let's address our sad elephant in the room. Uh, Adam was the first to watch it,
It was.
and he put into our group chat, "The universe hates me," and I was like, "What does that mean? What does that? What could that mean?" I was like, "Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know what it means because
Well,
you
it's
could take."
bad if the universe
Yeah,
hates me.
but it could have been good, as in, oh, that's the best news ever, and now I have to buy a Switch 2. The universe hates me. It could have been that.
It's the weirdest way of saying the universe hates me, but sure, sure, okay, okay.
Well, I suppose I took it as it could have meant the universe hates me, that the thing I want is not coming to the Switch 1 that I already have.
Right.
And in a way, that is what it is, but also not in the way we want it,
Well, on the
actually.
way, Adam wants it.
Not in the way fucking anyone wants it. Let's be fucking honest, right? So, there was a cool thing here as well. So, if you buy the Nintendo Switch 2, and then if you pay extra when you buy the Nintendo Switch 2, you could unlock the Nintendo Online kind of games catalog thing. I think you have to pay extra again, actually. So there's the Nintendo Switch Online, but then there's another tier for the Plus expansion pack.
Right, so
Well,
it's the
so
PlayStation Plus subscription
tier
service
system
thing. Yeah,
type thing.
yeah,
See, Game Pass is just it's more straightforward. Anyway, um, so you could do that, and they're adding the GameCube games catalog finally to Switch Online or whatever.
yeah.
That's great news, right?
Yes.
It's great news. It's only Switch 2 though. Fuck you guys. That's not great news, but okay, fair enough. Yeah, I gotta have something to make people want to go over. Cool,
Right.
awesome. First game they showed, Wind Waker, and you go, is this the only way to play Wind Waker on the Switch? Are you not doing the HD remaster port? Are you not doing that?
Nope. Not doing
God
it.
damn it! This is why Adam said the universe hates me, because it's all he wants. And then I saw it and I was like, those motherfuckers. And then Eric said, "Oh, those teasing bastards."
I was
But
actually
you weren't talking about that then.
no, I was referring to the Bloodborne thing.
Yeah. So that's
But
we were referring to the Wind Waker thing. So
I know, yeah, yeah.
so one of my other predictions at the start of the year, which I think is going to get an X now, as in a not happening, Wind Waker Remastered will release for Switch 2 this year.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Obviously, if it's just included in the Switch Online and it's the original version, that is not a remaster and therefore does not count.
No.
I can't believe that they're not doing the Wind Waker. I actually can't believe it. I really thought that was like a slam dunk. It has to happen. I can't believe it.
But maybe it's not that popular compared to other Legend of Zelda games.
Okay, let me put it
You know,
this.
like Hyrule Warriors or something, you know? Clearly that's obviously way more popular than the sequel to it.
Let me put it this way then. Let me put it this way. So on the Wii U, right?
Yeah.
On the Wii U,
Yeah.
there was an edition of Twilight Princess
Mm,
that was remastered for the Wii U, but it
hmm.
was Twilight Princess and Wind Waker as one package.
Okay.
Wii U.
Yeah.
What everyone was wanting was that to be ported to the Switch. Now, for a lot of people, it would have been for Twilight Princess.
Mm.
That is popular.
Yeah, yeah.
So we want that with Wind Waker.
I would rather they remade Wind Waker.
Remade, not gonna happen. Not gonna
No, because
happen.
I don't think they do remakes of their Legend of Zelda games anyway, or any other games.
I could see them eventually doing a remake of Ocarina of Time.
That'd be cool. Uh,
Now this news was a bit disappointing because it was like,
but
if that's the only way to go. Don't get me wrong. If I had a Switch 2, I would pay that and I would go and play and I would enjoy the GameCube catalog. There's more games going to come to it, which is exciting. It's like, oh, will Twin Snakes come to it eventually? That would be
better
cool.
yet, better
So,
yet,
what's that?
better yet, because you have to have this game on every console, Chris.
Oh, Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4
Oh,
coming
of
to
course, yeah,
Switch
the
too.
original GameCube edition, of course. Yeah, like will Resident Evil Remake be there? I was kind of surprised that wasn't in the immediate launch lineup. The Soul Calibur 2 was awesome to see.
That was
did
pretty
take
cool.
me
That was
back.
cool.
That's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
one of my favorite fighting games from back in the day. Seeing Link as the additional character, it's like that takes me back. That's
Yes.
that
And
is good shit.
seeing all the original characters. That's God, boy, I remember them. That was class. Back
So
in
don't
the day.
get me wrong, it is cool, but it is also like it seemed like a confirmation of no, you're not getting a Wind Waker remaster, and it's like, man, there's a lot of people want a Wind Waker remaster. That really sucks. Like that would have been a great. This is your Zelda game this year.
Hmm. No, but you're getting the you get Breath of the Wild, you get Tears of the Kingdom, you can upgrade them to have better fidelity, HDR and all that. And you get your Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. There's your Legend of Zelda games.
Yeah, what you think of that one by Koei Tecmo?
I mean it's pretty much the same as that other Hyrule Warriors Calamity Warrior game.
Right, it looked kind of cool. I don't know anything about it, but it looked a bit like
Yeah,
Dynasty Warriors meets
yeah,
Legend of Zelda.
it's Legend of Zelda with the Dynasty Warrior gameplay. So you play as a character, you fight a bunch of warriors or a bunch of the bokoblins, which is Ganon's kind of minions,
Hmm.
as you go across a giant map. And the first one was set before Ganon took over the world in Breath of the Wild. Because I think Link wakes up like 100 years later. Um, so the Calamity Warriors or something like that, that was set the 100 years previous.
Hmm.
So this one now is Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, you kind of got the gist from obviously this trailer. It's set in the past
Age of Imprisonment.
when they're going to imprison Ganon. So yeah, I mean it looks pretty cool. I haven't really played them
Yeah.
those versions.
No, it looks cool though. It looked pretty cool. Again, it seems more like a Zelda side project rather than
Oh yeah, it wouldn't be main entry.
a mainline Zelda game that everyone wants. But I think obviously the hardcore Zelda fans, kind of like the hardcore Final Fantasy fans who just get everything,
Right, yeah.
regardless of whether it was a side project or a side thing or a DLC or whatever. They're obviously going to have a lot of interest in it. What were some of the and on the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom upgrades and stuff? I did think the QR code thing was pretty cool for.
Oh, that was actually
Like,
for sharing your own.
if you make a
creations.
design, you could turn it into a QR code for someone else to then just put it in their game. I was like, that's
Yeah.
pretty wild. And then the Google Maps thing in the Nintendo app, so you can just have the voice direct you where to go within the game world. I was like, that's a pretty cool feature that I think could be used in more open world games. Actually,
That would be pretty cool. The creation thing was cool because I suck at creating things.
yeah.
So
But
that was
sometimes you
nice.
see other people's creations, you're like, oh, I'd love to have that.
Yeah, yeah, and then the finding the Koroks like that is so much handier than when you use like the guides are handy. When you go online,
Hmm.
you follow those guides, like they're handy. But this is like another step to make you go, oh, that Nintendo app seems really good. So first you have all the news information that they talked about last week, and now it's other functions such as being like a Google map or a Hyrulean map in the case of Legend of Zelda.
Hmm.
So that's a pretty cool feature.
Yeah. So what were the other Nintendo games that stood out to you? We did talk earlier about the kind of tech demo thing that's not built in that you have to pay for. That seems like a huge misstep to me. That
Yeah,
should
that's
be built
a
in.
mess
But
up, yeah.
What about some of the other stuff? Anything really catch your eye or?
Um, I mean, a lot of it was there was a lot of stuff shown at this in the hour. Um, so I'm trying to separate in my head the games that were just Switch 2 from the ones that were, the
Hmm.
upgrades. Because a
Well,
lot were upgrades, a lot were like ports. There was a lot of different features. Again, you had the third party ones. Um, I mean, you had the Dusk Blood. That's Switch 2 exclusive, so that's one. Age of Imprisonment, Mario Kart World does look class.
yeah, to me this was the best game.
Yes.
Um, just from how much they showed of it and the different things you could do in it, and then how big they're going with it, but not in a
Mm.
way that feels like, oh god, they're just doing like a checklist open world map thing where it's just, oh, this the thing that makes this game good is it's just a bigger map. It actually seemed like, no, there's the races, but there's also just free roam to just drive around and find things in the world, and like that all seems really really cool. Mario Kart is a bunch of fun anyway. We talked about it
Yeah.
in the last episode. So to have Mario Kart with a Forza Horizon, like they even have dynamic weather and stuff in it, I was like,
Yes.
that's fucking crazy. But still the fun cartoony graphics and things. Um, so that game in particular was the big standout game for me. And I personally, even though we already knew it was the first game we knew about for the
Mm.
Switch 2, I think because it had the best showcase, I personally would have made that the one last thing. I
Yes.
think ending on the Donkey Kong platformer was kind of weird. And I think I would have done ending on Mario Kart and straight after finding out the launch day, which gives you both the launch day for that game and for the Switch 2. So you ended
Right.
on the, oh shit, that's when it's coming out. Awesome. And
Mm.
then show the prices. I would not show the prices. Like when you watch that's how the PlayStation showcase ended. It's how the Xbox showcases ended. Um, to kind of be left wondering, but how much is it after you've
Mm.
watched it, and then go find out elsewhere, and then just have the internet writing all the negative stuff about it. Like you're finding out about it in a complainy way, not in a we've just excited you with this game. This is how much it costs. This is when you can get it. Please pre-order. Like the
Yeah.
messaging was wrong to me. And I think ending on Mario Kart would have been just like everyone would have been like, "Fuck yeah, I want to get it."
I just think you're being a negative poot scare, Chris. Nah, that's what I think.
Hey, maybe I am. Maybe I am. But
No,
I
no, no.
thought,
It is a fair complaint that, yeah, they should have told you what it was. Ending with Donkey. I think the Donkey Kong game
look fun.
looks fun, looks like
Yeah,
good
yeah.
crack. I thought the idea of your interaction with the environment that you can actually literally pick up a rock and there it is. It's freaking, and there you go. But yes, ending it with that is like a weird one.
Oh, I would have opened with it. I actually
Yeah,
think people, because then people would be like, "Oh shit, I don't know what's coming now." Because I would have expected them to open with Mario, which is what you do expect, which is what they did. Um, but if they opened with Donkey Kong and closed with Mario,
yeah.
I think it would actually be a stronger show. Like, and the
I
order in
was
which you do things does matter. It changes your mood and stuff.
I was half expecting Shred that Donkey Kong trailer to hear Seth Rogen.
I know, yeah, it's hard not to think of him now, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. He did a
Um,
very good. His voice is quite iconic, especially with the Mario Kart movie.
it
Or
does.
Mario.
It looks like a good platformer. It is nice to see other characters get their moment to shine. I
Mm.
I know that one of your predictions at the start of the year was that we will get a Mario 3D platformer. I
Yeah, so
take it
this doesn't
this
count,
doesn't count, but I still think because I think they said that Donkey Kong would come out in the summer as well. It would come out in August or something.
right?
I still think we could get. I don't think that means that your prediction is wrong. I think we could still get the Mario platformer like at Christmas or something.
Yeah, hopefully that'd be nice. One of
I
us needs to win, and so far none of us have anything.
I'm still confident that we will the James Bond thing will come to light, and I'm confident on the Hollow Knight Silk Song thing. So
Okay, so you get two, I get one, yeah.
so we'll
Because
see as we go.
I've heard that Batman
Mm,
2,
yeah,
Matt Reeves, is cancelled.
no way.
I've heard that. I don't
I've
know if
heard
that's.
it's in trouble. I haven't
Hmm,
heard it's cancelled.
I saw it was cancelled. But that could just be that clickbaity. Like The Last of Us Part 3 is cancelled. That could just be like that.
Yes, yeah. It
Um,
was like that's not what they said. They
yeah,
said
that's
don't bet on there being a part 3. They didn't say there's not going to be one.
yeah, it's very different.
Very different.
Well, yeah, was there other there were so many things shown at this. Was there other
Yeah, there was like the
exclusive
the
games?
the one for showcasing basically the use of the Joy-Con mouses and mice, whatever what's the plural of it when it's like a computer mouse? I don't know. Um, the Dragon Ride or something like that, or the you're in the
Oh
wheelchairs
yeah.
and you're playing basketball and
Ah,
it's like a fun little multiplayer game.
I really liked that. I thought that was a very cool,
Very creative.
very creative idea, very inclusive idea
Yes, yeah.
of doing the wheelchair basketball thing. But I liked the idea that like the mouses acted as your hands. So even when you're waving, you wave the Joy-Con thing. I was like, that feels very like back to the Wii
Yeah, and you lean them
almost.
back to actually throw the ball as well. And
Yeah, I think that was very cool. And like then there was a bit of that Tony Hawk. Actually, Tony Hawk's was another one they showed. But of that Tony Hawk's thing when you like go up in the air and do the slam dunk and shit like that. I thought that was a pretty fun looking party game.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They did Tony Hawk's, isn't it? 2 and 3 or something, or
Yes, 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
3 and 4. Yeah, no, there was a lot of Nintendo games shown. I suppose a lot of it was based on as well just uh games that are getting an upgrade. Like so
Yes.
the Zelda stuff and all that
That's
kind of
why
thing.
I'm kind of like finding it hard to try to remember which one was the
But
actual,
I
which one
still
was
I
the
think the
upgrade.
the best game shown was Mario Kart World
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
by far. And if I got a Switch 2, that definitely the first game I'd get.
I don't think you have a choice. They'll just give it to you.
And FF7 remake. Well, no, they won't just give it to you because it costs 80 fucking dollars or 80
Yeah, but you
euro.
just you just wait for the Christmas deal.
Well, the package deal with Mario Kart, you can get. I did say that earlier. There is a package you can
Yes,
get with Mario
I
Kart.
know.
It's 510 euro, which is cheaper than buying them both separately.
Yes, but
So I
still, that's
suppose that is the
five
one
ten.
people are going to buy.
That's
Still a lot of money. And
yeah.
then you got to buy a second Joy-Con, don't you?
That amount of money now
You
is
can't.
making me tired. Just trying to do that, Matt. Like just thinking about losing money just makes me tired. Like
But
I
wouldn't you
just
know?
I
Wouldn't you have
can't
to get
imagine it.
a second Joy-Con?
Oh yeah, but
So
like you
that's an
should.
extra
Would
whatever.
you get? Would you get? No, you probably wouldn't, would you? I was about to say, would you get Split Fiction for the Switch so that you could bring it with
No,
you?
I wouldn't. No,
Yeah, no, no, okay,
I have it on console and it works great and it's an awesome game. I hope people are playing it. It's amazing.
it's
But
great. We
it
can
makes
flip.
sense to me that it comes to the Switch.
Yeah,
Um,
it's pretty cool. I like the future of the Switch in terms now of what they can do and bring to their console
yeah,
is
and what can
very
come?
cool. What can come? The dynamic of what they can do with the group chats, the camera, the mouse, the motion of the Joy Cons, the 4K 120 frames per second. Um, yeah, and the fact that it's still you can bring it portable or you can plug it up to the screen. The
Oh yeah,
fact
that's
that
all still fucking amazing.
that's still amazing. The fact that now there's if you have a game and I don't have it and Adam doesn't have it, but hey, guess what? The three of us can still play it. That's a really cool function as well. I like, yeah, I can understand the idea of people being a bit pissy about the prices of things. But I think people usually get pissy at the price of things whenever a new console
Well,
or thing
sure.
is announced. I think people are usually like, that's horseshit, but they'll still buy it. But also,
Oh,
those people complaining are
look
still
at
gonna pay it.
the
Like,
Switch 2 is still gonna sell like crazy.
yeah.
It's gonna sell
Um,
like crazy.
But I can understand. Yeah, yeah, it's pricey enough, and the fact you have to go look for it could probably create that shock factor. They're like, "Holy fuck, that's the price of it," and they were hiding this from us.
Well,
Um,
I think that's what it is. I think it's the why didn't they just tell like why didn't they just
mm,
include it in the show? Like why are they were they afraid to include it in the show? Like it's not like I mean everyone's going to find out. Like so I don't think they were necessarily trying to hide it. I just don't know why they didn't include it.
no, but like the people who looked it up might get that reaction, which is why
Sure.
they're being negative
Yeah.
about that. But again, I didn't mind the showcase. And I thought there was a few things in it, sure, that were like that's weird, like the paid manual digital manual thing was like that's
Yeah.
stupid.
That's very strange.
That's very strange. Like, Yeah, that's very silly. I think they should change that. But I think the future of Switch is pretty good with the
Yeah, and
games
I
it's
do
getting.
think it's going to make future showcases not just Switch showcases, but in general, like a Summer Game Fest or like a Games Award, where there's the possibility now of a new game coming out, and it's coming out on everything.
Yes.
That's exciting. The
Mm.
possibility that that could happen, rather than there was a good point where it was like, well, coming to everything means PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, and even not for a second would you be like, well, I mean, it's not coming to the Switch, obviously, because it's not going to happen. But so it is awesome that we are now getting a machine that could run um, all new games as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Switch 2, guys. Is there anything else that you wanted to say on it, Eric? Or
I'm slightly tempted to make another jab at Elden Ring for the crack, but no. Someday I'll actually get that game.
you would probably like Elden
I will
Ring, given
probably
that
love it. Yeah,
you've
yeah.
liked quite a few of the From Software games.
Yeah, yeah. I tend to get them when they're on sale and stuff like that. So I probably get one that's on sale at some point. So far, it just hasn't really been on sale.
Right. Okay.
Or at least when it's on sale, it's still like costs an arm and a leg. But yeah, no, I'll probably get that. I find it funny to do jabs at those games.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. My only final thoughts, I suppose, is just that I look forward to seeing. Like, it hasn't made. I'm not a Switch hater. I don't want people to think that. I was a bit underwhelmed by the showcase, and it didn't leave me on a high that I wanted. There was some bad news for me, but there was also some really good news, and I am excited to see the future of the Switch.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, it might be a console that I get down the line, and then it'll be fun to play games on the go and stuff. But for the moment, I'm perfectly happy with my Switch One.
I do actually, sorry, just one final point.
Yep.
Right. Rather than just leaving on the point that I did leave it on. This will make it now where when you're going to see the Switch directs
Mm-hmm.
is going to spice it up a bit because now you have no idea what's going to be released.
Yes, I do
That's
think
exciting as well.
that's exciting. Yeah, you're right. The Switch Directs are going to get better.
Hmm.
In terms of the kind of games we like, because the capabilities are going to get better. Yeah. Here's a question.
Yeah?
They didn't do it in this showcase at all, actually. They didn't do the right.
No. No.
And I was listening to, was it Kind of Funny had a discussion on it? They were wondering for the Switch 2, will it be replaced? Will it still be that? Or will they do two? Or will they do a clap going forward? Because there's a slightly different sound effect for that. And if you look at the logo, it no longer does the slide up. It now clicks together. Because it's not a slide anymore. It's a so
Yeah,
they're
well, I
wondering
just got it
for
used to the click.
yeah. So further, yeah, they're just about to mix up. Further marketing going forward, will they do? What do you think they'll do? Will they do a clap? Will they do a double click? Will it just stay as the click?
I
What
will.
what do you think?
No, I want them to stick with the click. I just got used to it. I
Okay,
just climatized to it.
okay. I think they're going to do two clicks, not at the same time. I think they're going to do two hands now. Switch two. Yeah. And then you'll be like, I fucking hate it. I just got used to it. I fucking hate these guys.
And then I'll get used to the double clicks, and then they'll come around and they'll clap their feet for the next one. I'm like, what are you doing? I don't know what's going on with you guys.
All right. How about this then? For the final thing,
The actual final thing.
the actual final thing, your top three reveals from the whole show.
Okay,
And that could
top
be
three
games or
reveals.
otherwise.
Top three reveals. I really actually did like the group chat.
Okay.
Not that I would use it, but I thought it was a cool feature.
Awesome.
Right. The using it as a mouse. That's a pretty cool feature. Actually, all three things were features.
Amazing. Yeah.
The I never say that.
No.
Is the sharing of the games without actually owning the game.
Amazing. Awesome. Awesome. That's a lot of excitement for what the console itself can do.
Yes.
Yeah. My top three personally, and obviously you can be excited by a lot more than just three things, but when you're picking a top three, were Mario Kart World,
Mm.
looks fucking amazing. Final Fantasy VII Remake coming to the Switch is awesome, and being able to play that game on the go would be incredible. And the GameCube library getting some love. For
Mm.
me, I know that I have a bit of grievances about it being behind a paywall now that I can't get to at the moment. Um, but there is also excitement in that there's going to be a way to play the GamesCube library in the future. So that's very exciting too. But now we want to hear from you guys. What were your top 3 highlights from the Nintendo Direct? It could be features, like Eric was saying. It could be games, like I was saying. Maybe it's a mix of the two. We want to hear from you guys. How did you think about the Direct overall? Are you excited about the Switch 2? Is it a day one purchase for you? Is it even a year one purchase for you? How excited are you for the Switch 2 and the games that are to come? If you're watching YouTube, jump down into the comments to let us know. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell for all future episodes. And to those who listen to us on audio platforms, you can touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at The Brothers Take, again, to give your take on the Nintendo Switch 2. Thank you so much for checking out this week's episode. We will be back to talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.